Hello, Flosstube. Elizabeth Martinez, phantastitches, here with my Flosstube update number 394. Today is Saturday, July 12th, 2025. Happy middle of July. It's not quite my sister's birthday. Her birthday is the 15th, but we'll be celebrating this weekend. Having the family dinner kind of thing this weekend for her birthday, and but today I've got to finish my another camp finish, my July camp finish, and just WIPGO stitching and stuff like that. So, and a couple of a little bit of haul. I want to say welcome to my new subscribers. I have a few new subscribers that I didn't realize I had. So welcome to those of you who have chosen to subscribe. I think I have a smudge on my glasses, sorry. And welcome back to those of you who have been been subscribed in the past and are still hopefully viewing my videos. Yeah. So today, just a quickie update. So for July cross stitch camp, and if you're interested in it, you still have a little bit of time in July. But then August, you can, join in August if you want. You don't have to do all 3 months, August, the challenge, the prompt is to do something, stitch something new to you, a new designer, new fabric, new threads, whatever, something that you've never tried before. Try it this time in August. That's the August challenge, begins August 1st and goes through August 31st. If you still want to try to squeak in July, you still have basically half the month left. The July challenge was stitch something by your favorite designer. So, in keeping with that, one of my favorite designers is Tracy Horner of Ink Circles, and the design she did for the Night Garden palette series. The cross stitch the rainbow is the overall what do you want to call it, idea. So they choose a different set of a different set of colors or whatever for each time they do this. So this past, I guess it was Nashville Market, I think, was this Night Garden palette. There were 4 colors by Threadworks, and I don't think I have the threads here with me. I think I have them put away, taken out somewhere, put away somewhere. I don't know. But the 4 colors they had for in the Threadworks palette were Concord Grape, Coffee and Cream, Parrot Bay, and Merlot. And so those are the colors that I used on this little forget-me-nots elephant that Tracy Horner designed for this. So the Merlot, which is sort of a wine color, you would think, it's kind of this grayish, purplish gray color here that the elephant is. Parrot Bay is this green of the leaves here of the flowers. Coffee and Cream, I guess, is the other color, right? Yeah, Coffee and Cream, that's this beigeish color here. And then the blue is Concord Grape. It's kind of more of a blue color than at least to my eyes. But anyway, so I started this on July 1st, and I finished it on like the 6th or something. It went pretty quickly. Yeah. So that is the Forget-Me-Nots. And it wasn't very big. It was like 50 by 50 or something like that. I want to say, it's out of the way so I can see what I'm looking at. I think the stitch count was something like 50 by 50. 58 by 58. But so I finished it. Yay. So for August cross stitch camp, I'm doing Stitch Something New to You, a new designer by it's Cosford Rise Stitchery. It's a Starry Night, Biscornu, the Starry Night, Vince Van Gogh painting. But so it's Starry Night Biscornu. So it's a Biscornu with that Starry Night idea, inspiration, whatever you want to call it. So it's a lot of stitching and it's pretty dense. So I'm hoping that in August I can finish it. But I'm also I also made a working copy of the pattern, because the pattern is like very large, and it's not a very large design, but the pattern is very large, and it's split over 4 pages, and it's very hard for me to look at visually. So I did. I didn't reduce it, but I just made copies of because it's 4 pages, because it's 2 for the front and 2 for the back, the way it's printed. I think it's 4 pages each side. So there were 8 pages total in this pattern, because they're so large. So there's like 4 pages for each side. So I did make working copies. They're full-size copies, but I can at least chop them up and tape them together to make, one side for the front and one side for the back. And, I can fold it up as needed. But so I did make the working copy of that. So that's, one of my next steps to prepare for August. But that's a little way, that's a couple weeks off. But anyway, that's what I'll be doing for August camp. And in the meantime, I am working on WIPGO. And so the numbers this month were number 2 and number 16. So number 16 was what I started with, and that's the whip is the Little Brown Bat, which is part of the Cottage Garden Samplings Year in the Woods series. This is number 10 for October-ish. So when I was starting for this month, I had done one tree and the cabin and this one little, claw. And then I'd done this leaf here, except not the stem, just the leaf here. And actually, when I was looking at it today, I realized one of these little yellow things I had not crossed. I can see the uncrossed X in this one thing. So I might be able to fix that, eventually. But so I had done most of the bat's body, the brown of his body, but not these dark brown little triangles or the dark brown little spots on the side here. And I had done the gray of this, I don't know if it's the side of the bat's face or whatever. I had done the letter gray, and I think I had done this yellow part, but that was all I had done there. And I think I had done the gray on the little stripe on his nose here. And then for the wings, I had done the brown outline, the bones basically of the wing. There's bony fingers here. Yeah. So, in stitching it, I worked the gray design in the wings. All of the Cottage Garden animals in this series have like some kind of design work on their body, and then the rest is like, you know, fill in. So anyway, I finished the bat's body. I finished his eye and the face, and you know, and all this. This was a combination of grays and whites in this little checkerboard part. And I did all the darker brown in the body. And then, like I said, I did all of the gray little swirly design things on that wing and on this wing. And then I started filling it in with the black. It's Week Style Kohl, K-O-H-L, Kohl. And so I've done it kind of sporadically in places. On this wing, I started to do the beginning of it and just did the length of thread that I happened to have there, because I did do the ear and the end of his nose and all of the black and gray that was, you know, around here, the black here, around the eye and here, and then the white that was here. And then I've done the gray kind of, I mean the black kind of sporadically. I did the back feet and the in between the legs here, I guess. And I did, like I said, the end of this wing here, and this part I did, it was just a length of a piece of thread that I had left, you know, a short piece of thread. And then on this side, I went all the way down the edge of this edge of the wing, so that part of it was so that I could place the gray swirly stuff a little more easily. This what I already did, because when I was last time I worked on it, I was trying to do this cabin, and so in order to get there to be able to count off it, I did this little claw, and then this tree and this cabin, and that's when I did this leaf here. I just didn't do the stem of the leaf. But so this time, like I said, I was working on the coal color, and I worked my way down to the edge here, and then I started to do the bottom, and I still have to finish the end of the wing here, the bottom of the wing here, in order to finish this. And, you know, I'm a little bit tired, I guess, of doing the black. I did this part here this morning while we were doing our Three Sisters video. And so, and I did a little bit more, yeah, here, yeah. This I had already done. But, so, you know, part of me is like a little more eager to do like a lot of the leaves here, just to do something different, because otherwise it'll just be, you know, filling in the black here and across this wing, and it's a lot of filling it in. And part of me wants to finish the bat himself, because then the leaves here would be just easier to do next time it comes up. I won't. The goal on this was 7 days, and the first day was basically Sunday. I did a little bit of it early on, just, I can't remember, just to sort of find my place. I think I did that beginning of that, the tip of this wing here. I just did, I guess, just one length of thread, or I don't know what. So, but then I put it down. Like I said, I did just part of one day, and then I put it down so I could work on this forget-me-nots pattern. And so then I picked it up on Sunday, I started working on it more and finished that that swirly design on the wings, which just was harder than it seemed, I guess, at first, or once I got the hang of it, it went pretty quickly, but I had to like I said, I had to do at least part of this outside line so that I could find my way more easily, especially where I wanted to start on some of this. The other issue is that with the Little Brown Bat, with all of these cottage garden samplings, all the designs are like 2 fancy floss colors and then the rest in DMC. And they'll have like anywhere from, like this one has 8 DMC colors in addition to the 2 Week Style Works colors. One is coal and one is mocha. The mocha is the brown color and coal is the black color. And then the rest is DMC. And ordinarily, when you're stitching with fancy floss, the idea is that you stitch 1 X at a time so that you get the full advantage of the variegation. You can see it a little more clearly, like in the forget-me-nots. If you see the elephant is very stripy, and that's because of the variegation in this thread. So I kind of went, except for his legs, I went up and down, but his body I went back and forth. And part of that was just, it was easier to stitch that way. And you can see it in the moon here too also, but you see the variegation in the thread more easily if it's 1 X at a time. You'll see that type of variegation. So I tried to do that as much as possible. I in some instances, I did the Danish method, the back, do half the stitch this way and then the other half, what I call out and back stitching, right? So ordinarily I do that with DMC, but I also will do 1 X at a time just to get from point A to point B, whatever, to get to whichever end is more convenient for finishing the pattern. So I might do out and back and then do 1 X at a time and then whatever. But for the coal here, because it's complicated by this design work and you have to work around it, I don't really care about doing 1 X at a time. Again, I'm gonna stitch what's most expedient, but just knocking all that in between fill-in stuff, because it's not the same kind of fill-in as like when you're doing the roof of a house and you have just rows and rows like that elephant that show the variegation in there. You're doing, it's all interrupted by the swirls, by these gray swirls and everything. The black is interrupted by it, like you'll see here on the bottom. And so, in many ways, it doesn't matter if it's out and back or 1 X at a time or whatever. Just whatever will get me where I need to be is what I'm doing. And so, in some ways it's easier. In some ways, but it's always just going to be tedious to try to get where I need to be. Around those little swirls. But anyway, so I have basically the rest of today is my 7th day, and then I will put this aside. So we'll see how much energy I have to continue that stitching. So my next WIPGO project, that's number 16. So I haven't even begun to think about the new starts, the number 16 and number 2 new starts. The number 16 new start is going to be Quillber by the Blue Flower. And I've talked about that, I guess, last week, I think. It's a porcupine, a little tiny porcupine. And the proceeds from the sale of that went to a animal rescue charity thing that Jeannine McGowan supports. But anyway, so Quillber is on that list of new starts, and then the other new start for the number 2, the other new start is the Statehood series by Thread Milk, Indiana. But the WIP is Aprile Dolce Dormir by Madame Chantilly. That's this one here. And when I showed it, I'll be starting on this on Monday, basically. But when I showed this before, this carrot, the big carrot that the baby bunny is sleeping on, you can see it better here. This big carrot, I had like a big piece of thread left from where I had been working on it before. So I just the other day, just because, I went ahead and finished the carrot. The reason there's a gap here is because the baby bunny is sleeping on top of the carrot, and that's where his arm hangs down. You can see it more clearly here. That's where his arm is hanging down. So the carrot is done, and the wheelbarrow is done, and it's just the ground around him, I think, is not done. The flowers. The grass is done, but not the flowers and stuff that are around that wheelbarrow. But so this will be what I'm working on next week, because my camp piece is finished, and so I just have WIPGO, the WIP and the 2 new starts to go for the next 2 weeks. So yeah, so this one, along this flowery border here, there's also some white flowers. If you look at this here, there's white flowers on this line, and I have to put the Z's in for the bunny, put the baby bunny in, and the greens for the carrot, and that sort of thing. And there's the mother and father bunny. Yeah. So anyway, we'll see how far I can get with that. I think I want to do maybe the baby bunny next. That's like, what is that? That's my needle poking through there. Yeah. Yeah. So that's going to be coming up next, and this is on 28 count even weave, I believe, that I dyed myself. And I haven't decided yet. I have to look through my fabric stash and see what I've got. I think the Statehood series, I have some 25 count Lugana. I have to do put them through the cross stitch calculator to see exactly how much. Because I have 4 of the Statehood series patterns: Arizona, New Mexico, Arkansas, and Indiana, which are our 4 states, the 4 states I've lived in. I grew up in Albuquerque, in New Mexico. Did I say Albuquerque? New Mexico. I don't know if I said it. New Mexico, Indiana, Arkansas, Arizona. Those are the 4 states in the order that I lived in. I grew up in Albuquerque, so I lived in New Mexico. Went to school in Indiana, in Bloomington, and I lived in Arkansas for 25 years, and now I live in Arizona. So anyway, Indiana is up next, and so I would like to finish all 4 of them on the same fabric. And I don't have the pattern right here in front of me. Maybe I do. But the models are stitched on a fairly neutral background. I think the Arkansas one, I think I talked about this last time, the Arkansas one I think has some blue in it. But for the most part, the others are done like with a single red color of some kind. So they have this sort of white background. I think, this was 36 count platinum by Zweigart was what was used for these models. But so I have some 25 count Lugana in the color way. It's just natural, is what it's called. It's just an off-white color. So I might stitch them on that. I might stitch them on some other color. It just depends on what I have in my stash and what goes with these. This one, I did get the thread. This is Apple Fritter by Classic Colorworks. That's the color that's used for that. And also, it's not very big. This is the one that's 50 by 50. So I should be able to finish that pretty quickly, or at least get it started. And then Quillber, I have right here also. Quillber by the Blue Flower. There he is. There's his little face, and he's holding a little nutcracker. And his quills are done like long stitch, basically. Yeah. And Quillber is 33 by 44, so Quillber is very small also. And he's done on this plum pudding linen. So we'll see. Again, I don't know what I have in stash. I have to look and see, and maybe do a floss toss. I'm missing a couple of colors, I think. Well, maybe I have them all. I just haven't found them all just yet. Because they're all, I think they're all just DMC. Yeah, so I just have to put all those colors together. You don't find them. And we'll see. So that's what I have coming up in for the next 2 weeks. The Aprile Dolce Dormir, and then the 2 new starts. I have to just start them, if not finish them. So then I want to go ahead and talk about a little bit of haul that I have. The other day, my Punch Needle and Primitive Stitcher magazine came in the mail. So try to get my Punch Needle and Primitive Stitcher. This picture always looks upside down to me when I first glance at it. It's a pillow in a box. But so, and actually, I found myself actually liking the punch needle patterns a little bit more than the cross stitch patterns. Yeah, I think like this is nice. I think it's punch needle also, and this one also. This I like also. This is cross stitch here. It's sort of more patriotic thing by Crochet Gogo, and I like this kitty. And like I said, I think I talked about this before a couple weeks ago, that I have a cross stitch kit that I bought because not cross stitch, punch needle. I like punch needle, but I'm a little chicken of doing it. I did watch Vonna Pfeiffer tutorial, and I felt like I understood how to do it, and some of the good way to do it and everything else, how to do it properly. But I chickened out and never did it, never tried it. But I do have a little kit that I'm going to try out to do, but I will put off attempting to do it, to learn how to do punch needle. I want to put it off until September, when cross stitch camp is over with, and I have just my usual WIPGO stuff, but not anything new to start with. So there's several designs in here that I like a lot, and like I said, a lot of them are punch needle. I like that. That's really pretty cute. I don't know if I would do something like this because I'll see all those little swirlies in the water. It seems like it would be difficult. And yeah. This summer house thing is cute. There are bees and sunflowers and stuff. And it's a nice little cross-stitch pattern. That is by Simona Busiglieri of Mani di Donna. Busiglieri. And there's finishing instructions for that too in finishing it as a flat fold in that little box, finishing it as a box, I should say. And this punch needle, He Will Give You Rest by Revolution of Bird in the Hand Primitives. That's this one here. I really like that. That's pretty. And then this patriotic one, Patriotic Tiny Village by Crochet Go-Go. Here. That's pretty. And one I really like is this Patriotic Biscornu. Find it. I had it from years ago. Oh, in the meantime, there's this one here, Coneflowers and Yew. E-W-E, Yew. That's cute. It's a punch needle. Oh, and this one by Barbara Anna. This is called Summer Heart. It's just a big fish, very colorful design there. There's some, it's like octopus, or I mean, not jellyfish. Jellyfish, a regular fish, and this big fish. There's a sailboat. Oh, that's really cute, very colorful. And somewhere in here, I want to say, there's also instructions on how to do this drum design. It's called the Sunflower Field by Amanda Corbett of Starlight Stitching Company. But there's finishing instructions to finish that as a drum. That's nice. And then, well, here it is, the Patriotic Biscornu. And I think she just has you do both sides the same pattern for both sides. But you could very easily do this pattern and then just that corner design on the back side, you know. But that's really pretty also. So you have the flags and the designs. So anyway, yeah, there's just lots of nice summary designs in here. I like this one too. This is unusual because it's a sort of a mixed media thing. Mr. Bluebird. By Bonnie Woomer of the Nebby Needle. And the way this is like an applique bird, and then this part is cross stitch. There's the words, Mr. Bluebird on my shoulder. I think it's a combination. Yeah, the bird says cut pieces from fabrics of choice, and then it has instructions on how to you know, sew it together. So you just, yeah, this is the template that you use to cut out the fabric of your choice, and then just insert it, you know, on that cross stitch design. And this one here, Quilted Chickens, the Cluck Stops Here, is the name of this pattern, designed by Roberta Jackson. So you have these chickens. So anyway, it's a lot of fun. This is the summer issue of Punch Needle and Primitive Stitcher. And then the other thing I bought the other day, and again, I'm putting this off until September, sometime after September, I should say, once cross stitch camp is over. I have the punch needle kit, but I also bought this little kit. I was at Walmart. My sister, I had to do some I had to pick up some prescriptions, but my sister Eve had to work. She took the Young Rembrandt's art program that she does with kids. So she dropped me off at Walmart, and then she went to work, and so I picked up my prescriptions, and I had to buy a few things, but I was basically killing time at Walmart, which is dangerous. And they have these. I've seen these kits before. They're like Woobles. Joann's used to carry Woobles, and I think they're at a couple other places like that, like Michael's. I think might have them. I'm not sure. But then they also have these Red Heart amigurumi crochet kits also, which are cheaper. The Woobles kits have I think they all start with a magic circle, and that's already done for you. So the starting is like the hardest part, and so that's already done for you. And these are not started. So this comes with the little thing of yarn, and it comes with the stuffing, and it comes with the crochet hook, and then the instructions on how to do it. And I think it also says, so this says it has the stuffing, yarn, stitch marker, threads to make the little face and all that. A crochet hook, a yarn needle, and then the pattern. So they're all in this little kit. And I've been looking at these little Red Heart kits. They have several cutesy little animals, and I like the little animal. So this one, Tiny the T-Rex, is what this is called. They have a kitten and a llama, and I don't know what all other animals, but I like this little T-Rex guy. So I'm kind of chicken about crochet as well. I mean, I've once, years ago, my older sister was teaching me how to crochet, and I was starting out, but I think I had my hand, I had it holding it really tight, and my hands were very crampy. So I worked on it for a while, and then I gave it to my sister to finish. But so because this crochet hook, has the little, it's more ergonomic, has a little, it's a little bit thicker to hold on to, maybe a little easier. The yarn, I'm not sure about, because my younger sister was pointing out that the Woobles, the yarn doesn't split, so it's a little easier to work with. And this yarn may or may not be, I don't know, because crocheting is not my thing. But I've been wanting to do one of these little amigurumi kind of animal things. So yeah, so I'm gonna give it a shot. Hopefully, like I said, probably after August, after cross stitch camp is done with and all that. Also, next week, speaking of plans, next week, the 19th and 20th, next weekend, I should say, is going to be the Midsummer Stitch virtual retreat, again by Lindy Stitches. And there's still, there's still tickets, plenty of tickets available, because of course there's no seating restrictions because it's all online. So you can still buy general admission tickets. There's no classes this weekend, so there's nothing extra to buy. The tickets are $15 a piece for Excel events. If you go to lindystitches.com, you should be able to still buy tickets for that. Or I think Excel events, Accel, ACCEL events, has them also. But you should be able to go to lindystitches.com and get information about how to get those, I guess. But anyway, so that's going to be next weekend. So maybe I can start my new starts, one or two of my new starts during next weekend. I don't know. We'll still, my sisters and I will still be here to do our updates, both our Three Sisters Creative Sticks and Strings video, and, which will come out on Sunday morning, and my update. I'll probably just try to do a quickie update so I don't miss out too much on the Midsummer Stitch activities, but excuse me. But so there will be like virtual stitching tables, so you go and join, a group sitting at a table, if you will, and then also one of the features of this weekend is going to be what's that, 4 or 5 Flosstube people, like Pam and Steph of Just Keep Stitching. They're going to be there, I think on Sunday. I'm not sure, but they're going to be there featured. That you can, I guess you could interact with. You can ask questions and they, whatever. So there's going to be, I think, 4 or 5 well-known floss tubers like that they're going to feature over the weekend. So that's good. It's just going to be fun. And like I said, in the meantime, you can, like join the stitching tables. You can do speed dating, which you can meet up. The program will just randomly hook you up with somebody for 5 minutes, or you can extend it a little bit, and then you move on, and it'll pair you up with somebody else, like speed dating. So that gives you an opportunity to sort of get to know other people, various other people. Or any of the stitching tables also, it's, again, you can get to know other people who have, just similar interests, like it could be West Coast stitchers or late night stitchers or whatever. I don't know how the tables are going to be organized, the tables are going to be organized at this particular event. But they usually just have, kind of funny names or kind of relevant details or whatever. But so it's just, get together with other stitchers and just have some fun. And there's going to be, of course, some shopping, some exclusive designs, I think, and things like that. So that's going to be next weekend. And I'll put the link for Lindy Stitches in the description box. I don't know if I put it in last week or not, but I'll put it in for sure this weekend. So that's all I have to share, I believe, for now. And I will see you next weekend then. All right, thanks. Thanks for watching. Bye. See you then.